This is the all-new 2023 Chevrolet Colorado Trail Boss.
I'm assessing it on-road, taking it off-road, going camping, and in a cave. All right, the truck doesn't go in a cave, but I do. For years, getting stuff done in an American pickup truck meant a full-size 1500, since Honda, Nissan, and Toyota were the only players in the mid-sized market. Now, Jeep, Ford, GMC, and Chevy are back, so there's a cornucopia of choices. The 2023 Chevy Colorado gets new sheet metal, a different cabin, updated powertrains, and a number of new models to better compete. It's not all new. These changes ride on the same architecture as the outgoing Colorado, but that's okay. The platform's always been a strong one. There's a lot of chatter about how expensive vehicles are these days. The average transaction price is somewhere in the neighborhood of the high $40,000 range. Colorado is somewhat affordable. A base rear drive model begins at around $30,000, and that's with shipping. This is an off-road oriented Trail Boss model. Four-wheel drive is standard. Lightly optioned, this one MSRPs for just over $41,000. I would add two things: the skid plate package, because, well, this is an off-roader, and the integrated running boards and rock rails, because this is lifted by some 2 inches, and it's kind of a hike to get into. Each of those packages goes for $950. I'll point out this lacks some creature comforts. Heated seats and automatic climate control are missing in action, same with a telescoping wheel. These can be had on some Colorados, but as far as I can tell, not on Trail Boss. In addition to the 2-inch lift and rugged trim, the Boss adds a G80 limited slip differential, a wider track by some 3 inches, and a 4-wheel drive system with high and low range, plus a set and forget automatic mode. The off-road suspension gets a smidge more travel and twin-tube dampers. It's independent in front. In back, there's a solid axle with classic leaf spring setup. Pickups are all about buying the tool that you need. For now at least, Colorado offers just one cab size and a 5-foot bed. GM says it's been the best-selling configuration by far, and sticking with this setup keeps costs down. Back here, Colorado's off to a good start with a dampened tailgate. Also, it's lockable with the remote. The spray and bed liner is $475. There's the option of adjustable tie-downs, built-in LED lighting, and a 120-volt outlet if needed. This is the standard setup. Colorado doesn't get the slick multi-purpose tailgate found on Silverado, but for stashing gloves and small stuff, this is better than nothing. Let's give credit to Ford for first molding a ruler into the tailgate, and sorry Canadians, metric is not happening here. Little divots might help when loading bikes. This window and rear defrost is part of a $375 package that I'd spring for. There's the usual slots to use boards to reconfigure the bed. These could build a platform to store tools under a load of plywood or sheetrock. Use this to lock the tailgate into a support. So hauling full-size material isn't a problem. Trail Boss and the Z71's payload is rated at just under 1,600 pounds or 720 kilos. One advantage to a pickup this size, you can just reach over the side and grab things. Not always easy with a full-size truck. There's one engine size, a 2.7-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Changes to the 2023 models include a more rigid block casting, a 30% stiffer crankshaft, and updated components to improve durability. Power output is different depending on the truck. In the base models, it makes 237 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque. Trail Boss is rated at 310 horses and 390 pound-feet of torque, low in the rev range for diesel-like oomph. Sadly, the diesel's been 86th. Cog swaps are done fairly smoothly with an 8-speed automatic. There's no manual transmission available. Manual shifts are done here. The gauge cluster is configurable, so off-roading information can be front and center. Drive modes include terrain, good for a kind of one-pedal driving, and off-road that softens pedal response for better throttle control. The approach and departure angles are improved on Trail Boss, and the front chin can be removed to improve approach. And there's a trailering app. This is a basic truck, but hardly stripped. The Turbo 4, as tuned in the Trail Boss, is pretty much all the motor you need. 0 to 60 happens in 7 seconds, and just as important, 50 to 80, there's decent power. So if you're passing on 2-lane roads, you won't get white knuckles. From outside the truck, you'll definitely hear turbo whistles. Same if the windows are down. Roll them up, and it's gone. It's kind of something. Here's the other thing when it comes to the engine. This will tow 7,700 pounds. The detuned engine will only tug 3,500. So remember, buy the truck that you need. People buy pickups to do stuff, but they're also primary transportation for many owners, so comfort is a priority. As far as driving dynamics and ride quality go, Honda Ridgeline is best in class. It just is. But this is no slouch. On the highway, there's no micro corrections. It goes down the road straight and true. It's pretty comfortable. It's relatively quiet, not an awful lot of wind noise. And you have to remember, this is an off-road oriented suspension. It's a Trail Boss. I'd really like to drive an LT version with the regular suspension to see how it is. This is a little bit trucky, but overall, really pretty good. Large bumps mean some chassis shimmy, not uncommon with pickups. The weighted steering makes this midsizer feel like a full-sizer. The turning radius is nothing to brag about. Get used to doing 3-point turns in tighter spots, like when you're off-roading. Out here, driving a full-size pickup, there's no problem at all. But in tight urban areas, they're not a lot of fun. That's where mid-size machines really shine. They're much more relaxing to drive in the city. It's easier to park in a parking garage. Plus, you can easily see over the hood. You can see people in front of you. That's kind of an issue these days with full-size pickup trucks. Colorado can't be had with a hybrid powertrain like the even smaller Ford Maverick. The next generation Tacoma will get the Hybrid Max setup, but if it's anything like Tundra, it's for power, not for sipping gas. Common wisdom would lead you to believe that this would be much more fuel efficient than a full-size pickup truck. Not really. In fact, a Silverado that runs with this engine and four-wheel drive gets about the same fuel economy according to the EPA, 19 miles per gallon average. That said, many 1500 buyers will opt for more powerful engines with less efficiency. I took the Trail Boss camping near Cougar, Washington to check out the highway driving dynamics and fuel economy. Plus, I was able to throw all of our gear into the back seat. I kind of had to, since this has no tonneau cover.
The truth is, you don't need a pickup truck to head off into the great outdoors. I've been camping in my Chevrolet Voelk and it works just fine. But pickups just feel right out here. You know what I mean?
It's easy to throw loads of stuff like inflatable paddleboards and kayaks in the back. With the base engine, you can tow these. With the more powerful tuning in the Trail Boss, you can tug this. Then measure the fish you catch. Or take tougher roads to find hiking trails where there's no cell service. We even did some underground exploring. This is Ape Caves, 1.5 miles long.
Watch out, Town Duck.
It's just south of Mount St. Helens. You know, the one that blew up in 1980. Pickups in the great outdoors are like chocolate and peanut butter. They go great together. The round trip was around 400 miles, averaging 70 miles an hour, and this is the fuel economy. The engine only has around 1,000 miles on it. All right, let's do some off-roading. This will be light off-roading. This is my favorite Forest Service road, and the Trail Boss's suspension and 32-inch tires and all the other bits should make short work of this. Some buyers might think they need the ZR2 version with its trick spool valve shocks and standard skid plate protection, or even the Bison that competes with Ranger Raptor. But if this is your idea of off-roading, and for many it is, Trail Boss is almost like cutting butter with a chainsaw. Off-road, a smaller pickup truck has some real advantages. It's more nimble, and this will go places that a 1500 won't. And the Boss is affordable. Comparably equipped, it's a couple $1,000s less than Ford Ranger or Toyota Tacoma. Trail Boss has extra suspension travel. This is not a very well-groomed road. It's kind of rough. And the suspension is not soft and floaty. It's actually kind of firm. That said, this remains in good control. It doesn't chatter over bumps much. This has 9.5 inches of ground clearance. The water pump is electric, and that helps to keep things cool during slow, hard crawling. I can see owners taking their Trail Bosses on Forest Service roads like this, but it is pretty light off-roading. Now, Ryan Douthit from Driving Sports has built his own off-road course, and it's really pretty cool. He has been very generous in sharing some footage with me. He says he made quick work of this terrain with the rear auto locker being effective. Experienced off-roaders may want manual engagement. He, like I, thinks the underbody protection would be a good idea if you're going to hit the trails on a regular basis. It took a few attempts to climb a 22-degree loose dirt section. Could be a tire thing. Eventually, it made it up. For comparison, a Bronco Wildtrak with front and rear lockers waltzed up. Bronco Sport was denied. Trail Boss is a solid all-around truck, if not a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. If you're going to be doing severe off-roading, then you're going to be buying the Bison model, right? Special thanks to Ryan Douthit and Driving Sports. Really, check out his channel. It's great. The cabin is an upgrade from the outgoing Colorado. Trail Boss looks a little Spartan with its black-on-black colorway. It's essentially the same as the base WT model in here. There's a lot of plastic, but nothing cheap feeling. It's solid stuff and looks the part. Door pulls have the heft of a cargo tie-down. Releases are also plastic, but solid, not hollow like most. Normally, plastic steering wheels feel cheap. This is okay. Kind of controversial, the lighting controls are on the touchscreen. This didn't bother me in the least. Most will just keep them on auto anyways. The seat fabric feels as durable as a Carhartt jacket. I sure do wish bun warmers were available, but the chairs were comfortable on our camping trip. Also, I think a surround view camera system is essential for exploring the wilderness. I know Chevy's trying to keep the cost and complexity down. There are a good amount of cubbies to stash gloves and headphone cases in here. Door pockets, those are kind of small though, good for a bottle of water at best. This phone slot is handy. It seems to me that Jeep started that. The General still does AM radio, and the audio system is not half bad, punchier than I would expect at this price. GM does a deceptively good job with user interfaces. It's not flashy, but it's exceptionally easy to use with good response. My only gripe is that a lot of the truck's functions are controlled here, and if you're wearing gloves, they need to be taken off. And there aren't very many hard buttons. Again, it helps to make the vehicle affordable. Phone projection, or Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, are wireless. There's no phone charge pad, and USB ports are on the scarce side. There's a 12-volt socket in the console. I'm kind of surprised to find Google services at this price point. It does require a data plan, but it works great. Hey Google, is there a Dairy Queen nearby?
All right, there's a Dairy Queen grill and chill 3.6 miles away. Navigate to that one?
Yes, please. Here you go. Proof of performance. Dairy Queen does the best hot fudge in the biz. Dude, you're right. This thing needs running boards. This isn't a fancy Colorado, is it?
Nope, it's on the basic side.
Yeah, just checking, because it's a little Spartan. A reminder that we're both 5'9" and there's only one cab size. Headroom, it's adequate. Same with knee and leg room. Foot room, a little bit tight.
At least the cushions are high enough so that there's good thigh support. Door openings are a little bit small, which is one reason why it's kind of hard to get into. Plus, getting car seats in and out, that might be a bit of a chore. Door pockets, a little bit on the small side. You won't get a big Nalgene bottle in here. Trucks are about utility, and neither seat back gets a pocket? Wow. Cup holders, those are an easy reach. There are adjustable vents. I wouldn't expect a separate climate zone back here, but really, no places to charge my phone? The floor is kind of flat. That's good. Now remember, Colorado is a mid-size pickup, and the bench is fairly wide, but it's not going to have Silverado room. Let me get out of the way and show you what's under the seats. The seat backs, those are fixed in place. Raise the cushions up, and there is some storage here. You could put tools in this space, things that you don't want people like me to steal. So overall, there is some flexibility in the Colorado, even though the back seat is kind of Spartan.
Have to say, the Colorado is a looker. There's not an awful lot designers can do with pickup trucks, but in Trail Boss trim, this is a handsome rig. Strong but conservative, there are subtle facets that add interest without defaulting to machismo overcompensation. The strafes in the hood are fun to study. Not only that, this particular example was screwed, glued, and welded especially well. Excellent build quality. A lot of fellow campers complimented the look. Like all vehicles these days, there's a lot of plastic, it's exceptionally rugged, and if it makes a difference where your pickup truck is manufactured, let me show you that Colorado is made in Missouri. Time for red light, green light. Green light. Colorado, particularly the Trail Boss, offers bang for the buck. The size that makes it easier to drive in dense urban situations offers solid towing and hauling ability. The only competitor with better driving dynamics is Honda Ridgeline, and the 2.7-liter turbocharged 4 is a strong performer and eliminates weight in the nose compared to a V6. Yellow lights. If you don't need Trail Boss's off-road capability, it's likely the LT version will be even more docile for everyday driving. The interior uses high-quality materials, but visually it's a dark monochromatic space. There's a usable back seat, but for hauling the family on a regular basis, it might be a little tight. Red light. Look at other models or competitors for creature comforts like automatic climate, telescoping wheel, and heated seats. The 19 mile per gallon fuel economy average is not a major incentive to talk buyers out of full-size trucks. Want a different cab or bed size? Well, shop elsewhere. Pickup trucks are tools, and the biggest one is not always the best for the job. Remember to size up your needs. Yeah, bigger is better is the American way, but Colorado is a good argument for mid-sized pickup trucks. It's capable, it hauls a lot, it tows a lot, it's comfortable, it's relatively quiet, and it's affordable. Plus, it's a lot easier to drive a mid-sized pickup truck in the city. Now, maybe you're not a Chevy fan. Remember that Ford and Toyota have new models coming out. Yeah, Tacoma is the 5,000-pound gorilla in this segment. Its strength is reliability, not drivability or comfort. Hopefully the new one will improve the driving dynamics. As it stands, this Chevy is an impressive blend of value, style, and capability. For buyers that believe smaller can be better, for now, it can be argued that the Colorado is the state of the art in the mid-sized market. Remember that Colorado has a sibling, the GMC Canyon. I plan on getting the AT4 version in the next few weeks to see how it stacks up against this. Now, I've seen the next generation Toyota Tacoma in person, and if you're not in a hurry, it might be wise to wait and check that out. It offers different bed and cab sizes if you need that. The interior gets more hard buttons, and there's a blizzard of different models to choose from. But have to say, Colorado is an impressive pickup. Chevy should sell a ton of these. Ladies, gentlemen, Martin Campbell. He drives while I shoot running footage. This is our version of credits. Nothing long and scrolling. You are a Chevy pickup owner.
Yes, since 2005.
An Avalanche,
An Avalanche.
which they should have never stopped making.
Awesome truck.
And it's been pretty reliable.
Yeah, we've taken it off-road, hiking, camping, carrying stuff.
You really use it. And the only thing you've really had go wrong with it is rats chewing.
On the wires.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
Nope. Other than that, it is a awesome truck. The only big complaint I have on it is the gas mileage.
It's a truck.
It's a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And for those who think that the Honda Ridgeline is not a true competitor in this segment because it uses unibody construction, no. It's very capable. It's an awesome truck. Remember that Land Rover has used unibody construction for decades, and really, they don't have any performance problems, do they? Before I go, a little inside baseball when it comes to reviewing cars. Generally, I get my vehicles from the manufacturers and I keep them for a week, which is great because that way I can really tell you what it's like to live with. Now, some of you have complained that they're always top trim models that are loaded. Here's why. The manufacturers give us those because oftentimes they have new technologies that I can show you. Now, if you don't want the top trim model, don't buy it. Most people actually go for the mid trims. And this vehicle, the Colorado, has been a breath of fresh air because it's kind of a basic vehicle. I like that personally. For the last few weeks, I've been doing really high-tech stuff like the EQE AMG Mercedes-Benz SUV and the BMW 760i. It's like driving a computer. They're so deep, which is kind of cool, but you know, sometimes you just want to drive a car, right? So I really appreciate basic vehicles. Plus, I learned to drive in a pickup, Ford F-150, but I'm not brand loyal. But now I'm just rambling on and on. So if you like this video, and I'm guessing that you did because you're still here, sign up to this channel, okay? And normally I've been saying that I'm on social media. I'm kind of winding that down because it's really not doing much for me. So if you've got a question, just leave it here, okay? I'll try to get back to you. I'm pretty good about that. Thanks for watching. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.
It's 90 degrees. I'm wearing a down vest and a sweatshirt. And I look like Andy Warhol.